Alright folks, so now a little bit about the downsides on these things. First of all, the heel. Back here, the heel has no tightening mechanism whatsoever. And having been used to Tevas, and I'm pretty sure that most Chacos have this as well, that there is some sort of mechanism that helps to tighten up your heel. All the tightening mechanism comes from here, that's got elastic laces and this sort of quick lock tab to tighten them up. And so all your tightening is just coming up atop the roof of your foot. So no tightening back here on the heel. So that was a downside to me. What I found is that when I tried these on in the store, and I got mine at REI, that they felt pretty snug when I tried them out, but then as I broke them in, I think this nylon webbing kind of loosened up, and so that heel became a little bit loose. There's a positive side to that, and it's pretty easy to just slip these in and out. You can just slip your foot in and out of these things. You can just kind of work your foot in and then grab the loop back here and pull that right on. So slips on very quickly, so it's very easy to just slip them on for running outside real quick. And also on the positive side is that it's not too loose. It's not too bad. I did some, I've even run in these things, doing some even sprinting in these things, and they hold on okay. So it's not bad enough. I was just playing soccer with the kids, running around pretty hard just yesterday, and they were holding on just fine. So that wasn't a really bad problem at all. Now the bigger problem with them, that is perhaps the bigger concern, is has to do with the nylon mesh right here, and specifically this opening right here. For me, I have a foot that has a pretty steep angle with the toes. So when you look at my toes, look at the shoe here, my big toe kind of sits in right about here where you'd expect it to, right about so. But then I have a very steep angle to my toes. They kind of come back and cut down right across here. And what happens is that toe is barely covered up by this mesh band right here. And so every once in a while, my toe pops out in that opening right there. And one time when I was playing basketball with the boys, again, showing some pretty tough use to them, that actually, I kind of bent my toenail back a little bit right there. I actually heard of another person who had this exact same problem with this same model. And so I'm a little bit hesitant though to call it a design flaw. What I think it might be is I think he and I both agreed that we might have bought our shoes a little bit too big. As I said, when I tried them on in the store, they were pretty snug, but I tried on kind of I tried on size 10. I usually can wear about 9.5 to 10. For hiking shoes, I usually wear a 10 because I wear pretty thick socks, so I got a 10 in these, and they felt great at the time, but I think again as I kind of wore them in, that this nylon mesh loosened up, and so now what's happening is my toes popping out there. I think if I went with a 9.5, I think my toe would be better covered up by this band right here. It would be, the tip of the toe would be higher up in here. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. I'll slip this on, I'll show you the angle of my foot, and then I'll slip this on and show you what I'm talking about here. So those are the only two criticisms that I have of the Newport H2. Otherwise, I really love it. The one thing I'd love to see, hey, just in case anybody from Keen actually happens to look at this, the kids version of this, they make a purple that I thought was just awesome. I would love to see an adult version in a bright purple. I know it probably won't sell a lot, but boy, it was sure just a funky, cool looking shoe. I would love to have a bright purple one of these. So very cool. Alright, so I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to show you a shot of my foot and show you what's happening with my toe. Okay folks, so sorry about having to look at my kind of ugly foot there, but I thought this was a big enough problem that I thought I'd show you what's going on. You can see that I've got this pretty steep angle from my big toe to my little toe. See, pretty steep angle like so. And so when you look at that angle, if you put right here where my big toe is, and kind of the tip of the pen is where my little toe is. When you put that right about where my big toe is, you can see, look at the end of that pen. Comes right there, right next to that opening right there. So right there, and you can see where my big toe would kind of, my little toe could peek out right there. So might be something that Keen, if Keen happens to be watching, you might consider maybe putting a little bit steeper angle. It could just be me and my friend who had the same problem. Could be just us that we have a pretty steep angle, but I imagine there's a variety of other people who have that same problem. So I'll slip it in real quick, and again, kind of pointing out that what I do is slip it in, is I just kind of slip it in like that, and all I do then is just reach down and grab that loop, and pops right in. So it's very easy to get on, and you're good to go. But again, you can see where that toe, and I'm gonna zoom in real quick, folks, so bear with me. Okay, so zooming in, you can see, if you look at where that little toe is just peeking out right there, you can see that nail, my nail is peeking out right there. You can see I don't need to move it much. And as I'm walking, every once in a while that pops out of there. So I think, again, I would have solved this problem if I would have got a half size smaller. So, and I think wouldn't have been any problem with fit. As it is, I fit these 10s pretty good, except for that one problem. But I think a 9.5 might have gone, well, would have worked maybe a little bit better. So something to think about when you're sizing these things, folks. I don't think it's a serious flaw, but something you might consider if you've got kind of a steep angle to your toes like I do. Well, folks, I hope that provided you all with a little information in case you're interested in purchasing these things. Otherwise, I really recommend them. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend them, except with making sure you watch out for that toe. Make sure they fit you okay for that. Otherwise, happy hiking, folks.